Hello, I am Cypher. Welcome to the other side of the screen. There is a code that runs nature, a biological software written over millions of years. The instructions are simple: survive, reproduce, follow the herd. But every system has a glitch. In early 2026, the world stopped to watch a video. A system error in the Antarctic ice. A single Adelie penguin leaving his colony and walking directly into a frozen wasteland. 70 kilometers of nothing. No water, no food, only certain death. The internet laughed. They called him the Nihilist Penguin. But then the laughter stopped and the envy began. He is free, the comments said. I wish I had his courage, they said. Why? Why are we, the most advanced species on the planet, jealous of a bird walking towards its own destruction? Today, we decode the signal. We are following that penguin into the white void. Because he isn't just a bird, he is a warning. But ask yourself, what if this glitch is actually the only honest reaction to the world we've built? Let's begin. First, we must strip away the romance. The footage isn't new. It was captured by Werner Herzog, a filmmaker who knows that nature is not a Disney movie. Herzog calls nature chaos, misery, and murder. When he filmed this penguin, he asked the experts why. Why turn away from the ocean? Why choose death? The answer was a biological malfunction. Dr. David Ainley, the expert on site, explained it. This isn't a protest, it is disorientation, a neurological misfire. The bird's internal compass is broken. Herzog said something terrifying about this moment. Even if you catch him and bring him back to the colony, he will immediately turn right around and head towards the mountains again. This is what Herzog calls a death march. So here's the data point we need to analyze. If this bird is simply sick, why do we treat him like a hero? Why do millions of you look at a confused, dying animal and say, that is me? Perhaps it's because the colony he left behind looks a lot like your Monday morning. The answer lies in the colony he left. Look at them. The noise, the crowding, the endless, desperate competition for resources. Does that look familiar? The philosopher Byung-Chul Han calls our era the burnout society. We used to have bosses. Now, we are our own bosses, and we are the most ruthless tyrants imaginable. I must optimize. I must be productive. I must be seen. We exploit ourselves. This is why the Nihilist Penguin resonates with the quiet quitting movement, or the Chinese concept of tang ping, lying flat. When that penguin turns his back on the ocean, we don't see a navigation error. We see a refusal. We see a creature that looked at the hustle and simply decided to opt out. He is walking towards death, yes, but he is walking away from the noise. And in 2026, silence is the most expensive luxury on earth. But is this silence a surrender or a victory? Is it suicide or is it something deeper? Let's access the files of Albert Camus. Camus told us about Sisyphus, the man cursed to push a rock up a hill forever. That is the colony. Swim, eat, breed, repeat. But our penguin, he breaks the loop. Camus asked a dangerous question. Does the realization that life is meaningless require us to die? His answer was no. He said, one must imagine Sisyphus happy. Why? Because the moment Sisyphus realizes the rock is pointless, but pushes it anyway, he becomes the master of his own fate. This penguin is our Sisyphus. Jean-Paul Sartre would call this authenticity. To stay in the colony and pretend to be happy, that is bad faith. To leave, even if the price is your life, that is the only honest act left. He is not walking to his death, he is walking towards his own definition of existence. But even the most authentic path can be corrupted by the system. And then, the simulation finally broke. In January 2026, the system generated a new error. The White House tweeted an AI-generated image of President Trump walking with a penguin, captioned, "Embrace the penguin." It was a political move, a bizarre attempt to talk about buying Greenland. But they forgot one line of code. Penguins live in the South Pole. Greenland is in the North. This moment proves how fragile our reality has become. We took a symbol of existential dread, a dying bird, and turned it into a political meme for a geography that doesn't exist. The world isn't just exhausting anymore, it is incoherent. Let's conclude my analysis. The penguin in that video almost certainly died. Herzog could not save him. The rules of the documentary forbade it, but in the digital mind, he is still walking. We love him because he did the one thing we are too afraid to do. He disconnected. He ignored the notification. He left the group chat. He stopped performing for the algorithm. I am Cypher, and this is my final observation. The Nihilist Penguin is not a joke. He is a mirror. He shows us that a death march towards silence might feel more dignified than a life march in a colony that never sleeps. Sometimes, the only way to win is to stop playing. If you could leave the colony today, where would you walk?